Hey everyone, welcome to the Derek Bach Center's Learning Lab. My name is Madeline Woods, and today I'll be walking you through a very simple guide to the ChatGPT EDU interface. Now you might be wondering why you would want to use ChatGPT EDU in the first place. Well, first of all, it's available to all FAS members, faculty, students, and staff. It also has some of the best privacy and data protection. And this is really important if you intend to use your ChatGPT to work with sensitive information or even student data. Once you're added to the workspace, you will get an email directly from OpenAI inviting you to join the Harvard workspace. If you click on that, you'll be brought into the sign up or login space. There, you will use your FAS official email and a unique password. Single sign-on is not yet available, so make sure that this password is unique. And once you log in, we'll get into the interface. Once you've logged in, you will see the ChatGPT interface. You'll see it's made up of two main parts. First, the main window, which is on the right, and the left-hand sidebar. The first thing to do is ensure that you are actually within the Harvard workspace. And the best way to do that is look for the Harvard Shield. So the Harvard Shield should be up here in the top right of this main window. If you click on it, you have access to various settings, some of which we'll return to later. If you go to the left of this main window, you'll find another drop-down where you can select your different models. At the time of taping, 4.0 is the default. However, you also have access to the O1 reasoning models as well. In the main part of the main window is where you can actually chat with ChatGPT, and this is where you'll be having most of your interactions. Then, over here in the left sidebar is your history of all of your conversations, as well as some of the GPTs you've interacted with. Now, you may not yet know what a GPT is, and don't worry, we'll get into what they are and how to make them in a later video. If you want to start a new chat, you can also start that from the left-hand side window and search chats. If you don't want to see this at all, you can also close the sidebar and open it up. So now that you see the basic elements of the interface, let's begin, as we always do with ChatGPT, by asking a question. So I will input a question, a command, to that main window where it says Message ChatGPT. And while this generates, we can also explore some of the other functionalities of this message bar. So you can use this paperclip to attach files, this box to view different tools, and this globe to search the web or turn on web search. Now, something you might find with ChatGPT is that it tends to generate a lot of content. If at any point you see that it's too long or that it's answering a question in the wrong way, you can come here where that arrow was initially and push the stop button. That stops its generation. Now, it is very important to parse through all of the output of ChatGPT EDU, as there can be hallucinations and inaccuracies. However, if you're finding that you're prompting the same thing over and over again, for instance, this is the demo account, so I haven't changed anything about the ChatGPT's operations, I find that the output tends to be too long. So how can I change this? How can I interact with this model? Well, the first thing you can do is simply add another message. So I might say, this is too long. Please be more concise. So it will return to the original query, but now with my updated command. However, if you don't want to type, please be more concise, into the chat bar every single time you interact with ChatGPT, there is another possibility, which you can access through the Harvard Shield. If you click on the Harvard Shield, you'll find Customize ChatGPT. Here is where you can provide the ChatGPT with more context about who you are and the kind of output you're expecting. So you might say what department you work in, the kinds of languages you use when you code, and even the types of output you prefer. So both tone, as we can see here, witty, opinionated, or you can also ask for it to have slightly shorter responses. Just make sure you add this information and then hit save. And again, you don't need to worry about privacy or data issues. This is solely used to provide more context. Now that we're returning back to this thread, you might see a change to the left-hand sidebar. So here we have a history of all of our chats. And every single time there's a chat, it is renamed, but you can also change the name to, for instance, test question for shoot. If I want to rename it again, I can simply, again, hit these 3 dots and go to rename. I could archive the chat if I no longer want to see it, or even delete the chat wholesale. If, however, I'm rather pleased with the chat, I can also hit share, and a link will be created specifically to this thread that I can share with others within the Harvard workspace. If I'm finished with this chat, again, we can return to the left-hand sidebar, hit new chat, and we can start all over again. So again, this has been a very quick introduction to the ChatGPT interface. There's resources with more details, use cases, and further exploration that we will continue to post. However, for now, thank you so much for coming, and I hope to see you again. Yeah? Yeah? Done? Okay, cool. Done. Hopefully that'll be like 6 minutes, 4 minutes.